Hey guys, sorry about that. Just got mixed up. The power's going out over here. So I was just trying to work around it. So we had to end that last broadcast. Hopefully, you guys get in on this one so we can finish up the conversation on ineffective overseers. Want to thank the young man for joining us tonight, giving us his thoughts on what's going on. And a lot of people see what's going on. A lot of you guys see what's going on. You guys see what's happening. You see what's happening. So, like I say, it's up to you to not be influenced by these guys that they put in front of you. The only purpose should be influencing you is you. That's it. Get on your
Did you?
get on your genealogy. Find out where your people are. I sent you the link, Lisa.
I got it. I'm just trying to figure out if it's going to be like a whole different, because you're still not live.
Yeah, I am. I'm just not live on here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
I don't know.
so she'll figure out she's on her way with us. So like I say, you're to America. So like when you got here, when your soul incarnated, in it incarnated to America. That's all I mean when I say African Americans ain't Africans. I know you want to get mad, you want to be whatever. You can. You can, but you're gonna have to start explaining to these kids why you over there and not in your home, your mama's country, where your grandmama's from. How come you're not over there? How come you're not over there uplifting the fallen humanity over there? Because you're an ineffective overseer. That's what you are. All these cats that telling you from somewhere else, you're not. The discussion on repatriation and declaration. What's a declaration? Because Beamer 7, this is one of the things what we're talking about. Some of the things we're gonna have to think about ourselves. What you say, what your mama say, what your pop say, what your grandmama say. What's repatriation? Repatriate is when you get back what's yours. You getting back your land. You getting back your crops. You seen in the video earlier, they took your land and built railroad tracks through them. What's a declaration? A declaration is you making a statement, normally to who you are. So how do we look? Check this out. This is, because I'm not really, I don't get into a lot of brothers because they are about confusion. Damn near all of them, especially them in the churches. The Bible is a copyrighted book. It's copyrighted, which means somebody wrote it. They came up with the characters, they came up with the scenarios. How Negroes like Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, how are they characters in the Bible that somebody else wrote? This is why we fucking lose. That's why we lose. Can't explain why we doing it. Don't know, huh? You ask any of them, dude. Why you doing that? That lets you know that's who they work for. You don't check out all these clowns that be out there trying to trick you, all that African stuff. How many years did they put you back? 30 at least. There you go.
Yay.
You cool?
Ah, back is.
No, Beamer, I'm not saying no confusion is on your part. Never, I'm never making any accusations. All I'm saying is there's some things we just have to know. An ant doesn't teach another ant to walk. There's things that you see that I see. See the same thing. It affects us the same way. Uh, right?
Right.
It affects you the same way. Me. It's just how you're influenced to think about it. So, so this is what we mean about the ineffective overseers. You had a brother come out telling, I don't the whole story about what happened with them over there. I don't know why this brother was suspended, why they start docking money from him, but every Negro should have been like, okay, how come we don't treat them like that? Dog you out
Mm-hmm.
every day,
Hmm.
and we cool with it. Me and you shouldn't even have to have a discussion about that because they your daddy like that, your
Right.
granddaddy like that. We all should understand that.
Mm.
But we always got to come with someone we can't. Nigga, you got on blue shoestring, nigga. I don't wear. We come with that. Damn, simple.
Right.
It's simple. If you come and telling these kids something and you can't explain it, sit your ass down
Sit down.
because you're just confusing them, making them in a worse situation than you're in.
Right.
So, so Lisa, these are ineffective overseers. So, what do you think their next move is? Where do you think they're going from this?
Well, I mean, this the thing that the ineffective overseers do to be effective is if you watch the master of being an overseer, it's Farrakhan, right?
Right.
And Farrakhan, what he does to masquerade as being effective is that he goes all the way over the line so that you believe. He creates sincerity by going over the line. Oh, the white devil. Oh, they know that. He will go all the way across the line to match your feelings on things or to exceed your feelings on things to create credibility, right? And that's what Kanye's doing. Kanye's going across the line. He's saying things that we know and suspect and understand to be true that we speak amongst ourselves, but they don't ever speak it. The celebrities don't speak it. He's using the Farrakhan technique of crossing the line so that so he can see credible, right? Farrakhan's not credible. Farrakhan is bought and sold. Okay. He's purchased, brought, sold. He's murdered. He's done whatever he has to do to stay on top. Because people don't fare any better. All these years, you don't hear about, Islamic Harvard. What have they done with all this money and time? Nothing. Because he's just keeping it for him and his own. So we understand that when he goes across the line and says, "Oh yes, Kanye," and "Yes, we're Indian," whatever he has to say, that crosses the line until he touches the accord with the real people, he's gonna do to keep that credible pulse, to keep us thinking that he might be honest. That's what these new overseers are going to have to do. They're going to have to cross the line to be credible. They're going to have to reach some kind of chord where they can touch us and make us feel like, oh, they get us or they're on our team. They're going to have to do that. But you got to understand it's just a technique. It's the Farrakhan technique. As far as, and we were talking about what's repatriation versus declaration. Repatriation is Your people exist, and they're not some global Cherokee or some Pamunkey that there's only one Pamunkey tribe. They're not some Choctaw or some like there's only one Choctaw, like there's only one Yamasee or Yamasee's the only thing in South Carolina. Nobody's claiming Yamakra. Nobody's claiming a lot of different tribes, sub-tribes, and regular tribes that your people were in your specific county where your bloodline is from. Repatriation is the resurrection, and the affirmation of your people's existence today. Today. You don't have to make up a name like Toto people or Cho Tums. You don't have to make up an identity, because a made up identity is not going to be in the history books. You're not going to have court laws with your names in it, your people's names. You're not going to have land patents attached to your people because it's fake. And you can't get nothing being fake. So repatriation is when you take and you reclaim who you really actually are, those actual peoples, and the names are in the towns, the names are in the streets, the names are in the creeks, the names are in the trees, the names are on the old Indian maps. They are there. They're the names of daggone schools and cities and towns and creeks and lakes. They're there. But you're sitting up there trying to be a Choctaw, which is a generic term, or a Cherokee, or a Creek, or something, when you really have a specific name that is tied to your people that may not be no bigger than a county or a county and a half, or a half a county. But that's your folk. And when you repatriate is when you say, you know what, we ain't never been dead. We're still here. And then you actually, what you use to do that is the paperwork you use to file, to report to everybody and declare, we are here and we never left. We've always been here. We've been renamed. We've been reclassified. We've been lied to. We've been lied about. And we are here, and we want all of you to know about it. That's the IRS. That's the State's Department. That's the sheriffs. That's the Homeland Security. You want to send it to every entity possible. And the more you self-report, the more you go to the town and you say, hey, we're still around. You go to the county, to the library, you go to the museums, to the schools, and you let them know we're still here. And you let the people know, hey, you know what you are? You're this Indian. You're the daggone Chattahoochee, the Chattahoochas. You're whatever. You're the Luptatas. You're that. You're the Akahachi. You are those, and I am helping to repatriate us, and we still exist. And you educate them as to who they really are. You're not African American. This is why these people in this county, this is what you've always been. You've always been here. That's repatriation. Declaration is the instrument you can use to make it work. And there's different declarations you can use to give yourself more power. The more you report, the more you introduce yourself to universities, to schools, to the public officials, the more you will have, you'll be able to do. You report yourself to the district attorneys. You report this to the courts. You report this to the sheriff's department. You declare yourself everywhere, and you become a presence. You become an entity. You become a power to deal with. That's what that is. I don't know if that's clear to y'all.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
Hey.
What's going on, man? Appreciate it, man. Just came across y'all channel today. I think I watched 3 of the sisters' videos, man. They was hard hitting. I think it's from like 3 years ago. And the thing is, I guess my YouTube algorithm sent it to me because obviously, like I've been going, man, for the last month, just a deep dive into my ancestry. So basically, my family, we come from the Pamunkey tribe, and I knew this from the mid '90s, late '90s. We come from the Langston line, so my mother's maiden name was Langston.
Mm-hmm.
They were always told us. I remember as a kid, it was like, yeah, Langston Hughes was an ancestor. And we were not the
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have children, but I believe he was like a great some uncle. But I didn't know all of the connections. So recently, some of the other family I have in Florida, I'm like, my mother actually really started. My mother has dementia now, but she really got
Oh.
this type of research and uncovering these things in about the late '90s. And
Mm-hmm.
she had, she's a very peaceful, like, she almost, she exudes that what many people, when you think about, Native American, just, very earthly, very, what I'm saying, she's a nature person kind of type thing. So
Mm-hmm.
always, so when she came into that um, discovery and learning about these things, she was like, it gave her a deep insight about, why she inclines to a lot of the things that she's inclined to. She was like, I always felt um, connected to like the Native Americans and things of that sort. And so like now in my, like in my mid 40s, I feel that now it's kind of like, it's kind of like the baton is being passed on to me now. So
Mm-hmm.
now with the ancestry and everything, so now I've gotten a lot of the paper anyway, a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the information. I've been tracing everything back, and you know much about the Pamunkey, sister?
Yeah, I do know quite a bit because see, we're all of the same
Exactly.
Powhatan Confederacy,
Right,
right?
right.
And Pamunkey are very closely related to Accomack. Accomack are really kind of we're bumped up and real close to the Nottaways because we're literally neighbors, kin cousins like that. And
Right.
also the Pamunkey, right? We're all up in that same area, and we're all
Okay.
related and come from Powhatan and descend from him somewhere or other. Either he's his brides, like in our tribe, one of his daughters married our chief, one of our chiefs. So,
Right.
we descend from Powhatan. He's our great grandfather. So basically, with that being the case, I also happen to know, because even with my people, that there's just not Pamunkey. Like there's so many Pamunkey. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Mm.
not just one. So, like, for instance, when you start to look and you know exactly what county your mom's people come from in Virginia,
In King William County, I believe.
King Williams County, right? So you start looking into the different chiefs, the different sub tribes. There were, understand this, Powhatan was a Pamunkey, right? And under Powhatan, there were at least 60 different chiefs.
Mm.
That's a lot of people.
I think I have. I've read some of it. Yeah, I read.
So I mean, so if there's at least 60 different tribes under that
Right,
or in around there, then you need to understand that you got to get specific to what Pamunkey are you.
right. So this
And
is
that's
where
where your power lies, because the Pamunkeys that are the Pamunkeys are not winning,
I know.
right?
I know.
But first of all, we indigenous American Indians don't call ourselves Native American, because Native is a government term that's used to describe those that come under
Yes.
the Bureau of Indian Affairs, those that want to be or are under it.
Right.
And they basically want to be uh, United States Indians.
Yeah.
But
I just use it. Sometimes, a lot of times, I just use it for the lack of better term because it's
right, we say
forcing
American
nation.
Indian because we're the original American. What's what they said? We were America. It was America with the Indians. We call ourselves American Indians. Some people say Amerindian, whatever term like that. But basically, that's the difference. And then we're not, and also Native Americans are used to describe those in the Western Plains, which are purely Siberian and not even of our relation. They're Siberians. Their customs are Siberian. Their dances, and a lot of the people that are today Pamunkey, even the chief, which I met him last year at a function at the Virginia Museum of Art. They had an occasion, some kind of event there, and he said that clearly their dances are not their own dances. They stole their dances from the Plains Indians, the Western Indians. They don't have to, because see, you have to understand, half of these folks that are organized in Virginia, especially and around the country, they just got organized like in the early 1900s, and they were told act Indian. Perform. Show us how you're Indian.
So, right,
You
right. So
know,
let me,
so they had to make up a dance, they had to make up a costume, they made up a culture, you know, that they weren't doing. They were wearing zoot suits and stuff. They weren't wearing that stuff. Come on. Like, that's what happened. So a
yeah,
lot of this culture that we see around that people imitate are Plains Indians, which is really Siberian culture. The dress, you know, a lot of the beadwork, a lot of that is Siberian. Okay,
yo. So before you can tell
so
them,
it's
go ahead.
mhm.
Go ahead.
And so even like, so we have to do a deep dive into really rediscovering ourselves and recommuning with the nature and finding our true culture. I actually really our real culture is this: whatever the Negro, the so-called Negro colored person, which is really the Indian, does, that is our culture. Like, you know, rock, that is our culture. Hip hop, that is our culture. You know, soul, that is our culture. Blues, that is our culture. We created most of the culture that the entire planet follows is our culture,
Yeah,
including our language, our dialect. A lot of the words that we think are English, they're not English, they're American. They're straight indigenous.
yeah,
We are making up words to this day, bootylicious in the dictionary. We make up words on a daily basis that become part of the American English is not England English. And so a lot of our words are words that the world learns today because they copy us. They don't copy England. They
yeah.
copy the American. But
Right.
anyway, but as far as repatriation, let's get back to that. You have the ability as a Pamunkey to be a true Pamunkey,
Mm,
to go ahead and look. You can find them by, first of all, looking into the going, just doing Google, into Google Maps to show the Indian tribes of Virginia
right.
and where they're located. You can even do a deep dive into the county. The county will tell you which Indians were they, because our European friends, they love the Indian. They romanticize it. They know more about us than us. So
Right.
they have all the information about which Indians were in your county and what were their various names, which tribes were there. And then you were going to sit, it's your job to see what resonates with you and who you're
Right.
going to repatriate as, and then form a corporation under that name, the American Indigenous Wampty-Wamp, whatever, Pamunkey Indians. You can
Right.
add the Pamunkey in there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So
But
you know what, you're answering a lot of. If I can interject for a minute,
yeah.
because I had a few questions and things I wanted to. You're actually answering them, which is good without even me asking. You're actually coming up on some of the things I had in mind. So my thing is this: like, I mean, we can trace. I know I can trace everything back to Louisa County, uh, early 1800s, because we know that she was history says that Lucy Jane Langston, and she got her freedom. She was a
But let me
fictitious
also tell
slave.
you this: you got so many
I can't go
relatives.
beyond that.
No. But
Having trouble going beyond that.
you're getting caught on the Langston, like that's your only last surname. You know, your mother is not just a Langston. She's her mother's name, her mother, great
Oh, I got all
grandmother.
of that too. Oh yeah, I'm going
Right.
there too. I'm
But
going there as well. I'm
I
going
would
there as well.
say, I would tell you
I'm
to
doing it
don't
all.
just stay on the Langston. Look at all your surnames, because all your surnames are going to be possibly the same, maybe different tribal affiliations. Maybe it might resonate with you more than being in this Pamunkey realm. That's not the only thing that you need to focus on, most
I'm
likely.
I'm not, and I'm not, and I'm not.
Okay,
I'm doing,
so
yeah.
this
I'm
is the
doing
thing.
all the different
So
things.
as you look, I would encourage you to look into those other surnames, because you have many of them, and also look into what tribal and sub tribes and tribes they belong to. Also look into the land patents that you might find that might be associated with those families and those tribes. That very interestingly, a lot of these Pamunkeys, Nottaways, different ones won't claim these land patents because they are in cahoots with the government and don't want to make enemies.
Yeah, they super. So
People
the
they're
thing about the
dependent
monkeys
on.
that I see is
But
that they're super
they've
racist.
got land patents that they aren't claiming, and they
Yeah.
won't, probably because they don't want to. But as a Pamunkey something else, or whatever, not away something else, or Chickahominy this and that, you can claim those patents because they're not going to. Somebody should.
Right. Right, and that's okay. Cool. Yeah. Because that's the thing. It's like I'm familiar with the Pamunkey tribe and reservation. I haven't been there yet. I've been on their website.
Uh-huh.
I've talked to. I mean, I've seen. I haven't really talked directly to anybody from but basically for the most part, what I get, I mean, they're pretty whitewashed and kind of racist. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
So
mean, the chief seemed. I mean, I'm going to say this about the chief. He's fair, very fair, but he fair complected. But he has a very cool energy about him,
okay.
and I appreciated that. While in our presence, he did admit that they did not have their own dances at that public forum there with all those, eager white people that they were performing for and dancing for and trying to put some funk in their steps. I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting and cool. You know what I mean? They're trying to be a little funky. They're trying to you know, say they're struggling because actually they don't know what to do because as this is all being uncovered, they're looking kind of shady.
Right.
And I'll tell you, the powers that be don't know what to do with them either because they're like, well, do we keep putting our money in these people that we put in as front Indians because it's no longer gonna work? I don't think.
Exactly.
Well, that is a concern for the powers that be that they're spending all these billions of dollars in these Indians that are not Indians, and here we come knocking. And the more of us that actually repatriate is going to be a powerful thing because then as we come knocking as a collective, well, they got something to contend with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's what I was trying to wonder. Should as Pamunkeys, if let's just say if that is the most connected as far as just through our documents and through our ancestry or whatever, should we focus on trying to enroll in that tribe or try to create something different
Well,
as
you're
you know what
not
I'm
gonna
saying?
create anything for you or your progeny by enrolling.
Right,
I'll just tell you that
right.
because
Because
if
that,
you enroll, you're a government Indian just like they are.
yeah, that's what I feel.
You're a subject of the United States just like they are. You're saying in effect that the United States has authority to tell you who you are, which you should be recognizing the United States, not reversed. You should be
Right,
like, wait a minute, I haven't recognized you, USA. Let me check you out. Now, you want to be in a position of subjection or power or empowerment, that's up to you. But as a repatriated person, you have the ability to change the whole matrix for your unforeseen progeny because they're going to walk differently. They'll have different rights. They will be able to live their lives as people that's not under the jurisdiction of the United States government. And they will have certain freedoms that African Americans will never understand or have.
okay,
So yeah, I mean it's up to people to make up their mind. Yes, it's some work involved with it, but anything worth having is gonna require some work.
of course.
Right.
Appreciate it. All right, cool. I'm gonna keep listening, y'all. I'm gonna sub to
Mm-hmm.
your channel, okay?
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you for coming in.
all right, for sure.
AP Junior or JR. Yeah, I got family from Surrey County, because I'm a Cypress. A lot of Cypress are from Surrey. Um, and we move all over. But yeah, Cyprus is indigenous to America. Southampton, exactly. That's Accomack County. That's Accomack land as well. The Accomacs were on both sides of the water because that's what we're called, the across the water people. So, yep. APJR, I don't know what you are. You might be an Accomack. I don't know. You need to let me, holler. Anybody else want to come in? Come in. Yep. So as that gentleman said, that's what's up. Sometimes people, they just want to inquire. They don't know, what you're about. I'm about what whoever is real to do to be who they really are and put the work in. Now, it's not going to work if you're faking it. It's not going to work if you don't have the real genealogy to support it. But it also doesn't work if you're trying to fit a round peg into a square or a square into a round. Like if you are trying to make yourself into something, sometimes we want to be something or we think that might be more prestigious. I don't know. But the reality is what should be important is what's going to do the most for you and your family when you're gone, and always how it's going to change your life, how it's going to benefit your people beyond your being here, how it's going to change how you can move in this world, your freedom, your money, you know, just your benefits. And the reality is, it's really, you have to create this, you have to work for it. Nisi Y says, Miss Lisa, need to help my family from Maryland. My grandmother is from Princess Anne. Oh, Princess Anne. That's the uncharted territory. I know about Princess Anne because my sister went to UMES. Yes. And a lot. My grandmother was enemies with one of the professors there. My sister thought that they were friends, and she tried to tell him about my grandma's name, and it got her in trouble because he didn't like my big mom. But anyway, yeah, Princess Anne. That's a very good territory to be in, to be from, because not a lot of people have been working on their indigenous roots there. Oh yeah, yeah. So Nisi Wise, please hit me up, because I'd love to get somebody to start something in Princess Anne. Princess Anne has grown. A lot of money is coming to Princess Anne. Princess Anne has a large indigenous community. And yeah, I would love, although it's not Virginia, I understand it. Don't have to be Virginia. I'd love to be of assistance to getting something started in Maryland, and specifically Princess Anne would be awesome. That's not far from the Eastern Shore. That is the Eastern Shore. That's not far from Virginia, from Eastville. I put it like that. Not far, but definitely come to the summit next year, and definitely contact me. Just hit me up. What you got to say, Kerry?
Oh, I'm just sitting back learning. I can learn. I can learn
That's Jane
today.
Morris. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I just wanted to remind the people, these overseers, leave that stuff alone. Like Lisa's telling you, get with your families. Find out who you are connected to. Find out, when you incarnated here on earth, where did your soul land?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is simple, y'all. That's why they have you calling yourself all. Could you imagine if all the clubs and fraternities and whatever Negroes are in, if they finally woke up and said, hey, wait a minute,
Right.
could you imagine the
Wow.
impact that'll have on the world?
That's why they do so much to split you up with all these different divisive groups, these frats and sororities, and clubs and religions, and all these different ways of thinking, FBAs. They fund these people to keep you divided and confused. These people are being funded. Let me tell you something. People organize these political organizations. People that organize these things where they're trying to act like, oh, fight for reparations. They get paid to keep you divided. You're not going to get anything, but they get paid because they say, look how many I can bring to the yard. I have power. If I decide to change what I'm telling them, I could change everything. They threaten these damn political overseers, they threaten the globalists, and to saying, look, I'm a political overseer. I got all these people following me. One word of the truth, and they will change and listen to, and they will know it and believe it. But I'm telling them something different for now. But I could always tell them the truth if you don't pay me. See, they organize and try to get you to follow them, but you never get the benefit. It's only the one or two people that are the talking heads that are going to get paid. You will never see a benefit. And that's why people like to get you to come on board with them, because then they get to benefit. What you need to do is come on board with your family. as the nation that you are, along with all the neighbors that are included in that nation. The people that live in the spot where y'all are from are your kin. They're your nation. And let them finally be able to rise to benefit from their true identity. That's what we should be doing. Help your families and help your extended family from where your homeland is, and get your homeland back. Get your rights back. Get money back. Get out of this tax. Get out of this freaking matrix. That's what we should be doing. But the reality is we have overseers. And the overseers that we have are becoming ineffective. The more you realize who you are and focus on that rather than their distractions, the more ineffective the overseers become. The political ones, look at what happened to Stacey Abrams. How fast we're making people ineffective so rapidly these days. She brought all the Indians to the circle. The wagon train of, she brought them all. She changed the color of the state. She went to every small town, every little space in Georgia, and got them all collected up, because we didn't know that there was more Indians in Georgia than white folk until she did that. And let me tell you, even her people on her team weren't happy with her butt. They wanted her to do stuff, get people to vote, but they didn't want her revealing that there's more Indians in Georgia than Europeans. They didn't want her revealing that. But unfortunately for us, we always forgetting stuff and not noticing stuff. So although she made it quite apparent that there are more Indians in Georgia than Europeans, we really didn't take true notice of it. We didn't let it penetrate like, darn, if there's more of us in Georgia, what we thought was then what about all the rest of the states? We didn't let it marinate. That if Stacey Abrams changed the color of Georgia politically, what is the truth about America in general? Well, the powers that be, whether they be Democrat or Republican, none of them liked that. So Stacey got bashed. They put an immigrant in the seat of VP. An immigrant don't nobody like, and you dumb sorority people, the dumb ones out there, rallied that damn woman like she was a sister, and she ain't nothing but a trifling, but they put her in the damn VP spot, and Stacey didn't get nothing. I don't know what she got, maybe a check. I guess she got a check because she ended up being a millionaire by the time she went back to run. But okay, Stacey, for all her wondrous works, was not able to repeat her magic trick on Georgia. That's the sign of an ineffective overseer. You were able to bring everybody out to the yard, change the color of the state, and then you can't get governor the second time around? I knew she was trifling because I thought, girl, how you going to let them do you like that? Put a foreigner in the VP spot when you deliver the whole state. She ain't done nothing but give some blowjobs, and she got VP. Thrown some brothers in jail and gave blowjobs. Anyway, poor Stacey. That's an ineffective overseer. She was supposed to make it rain votes. She was supposed to not make it evident that there were more Indians than Pilgrims. Well, she's ineffective.
You think Herschel Walker gonna be? You think Herschel Walker gonna be effective?
I don't understand that phenomenon of them even putting that ignorant. They look like stymie and daggone buckwheat. That's what him and daggone walnut look like to me. Stymie and buckwheat. Okay, how did they think stymie and buckwheat was gonna bring anybody out? Okay, Herschel Walker, buckwheat. He can't. He can't even speak.
Excuse me, Stymie and Buckwheat were cool.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to
Say
disrespect
say
Simon.
Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson.
Oh, okay. But either way, Al Al Sharpton, yeah, whatever. I don't even want.
Overseers.
They are overseas. When they no, Hirsch, they are overseas. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are overseas, and Al Sharpton, his effectiveness just wore the hell out. Jesse Jackson, he got done real quick. He was crying, and upset when Obama took his spot. Like he was real upset. Called him he said they need to cut his balls. I remember that we had that hot mic
Yeah.
where he said they went, they needed to take his nuts off.
Yeah.
Man, he was pissed that a foreigner came in there and took his spot.
But that's what I mean. That's
He
what he
couldn't
did.
even hide it. But
Right.
he paid for that. He
Yeah.
put blood on him. His blood is literally has the blood of Martin Luther King on him. He actually
Yeah.
facilitated his murder. And so he knew he was due for the spot. And then when they gave it to that foreign boy, oh boy, he was pissed. He was so pissed. Because he knows all the stuff he did, the groveling and faking and killing he did to get in that spot and didn't even get it.
That's
All
how a
these
pimp
people are
do his
well paid.
hoes.
Al Sharpton shouldn't have no money. He ain't got no church that people care about. How come he got so much money? These people are paid ineffective overseers. They paid.
Hawkeye
And
said he
now,
started the
and I bet
Rainbow
you they,
Coalition too.
I bet you they looking for the check in the mail now, and it ain't coming. It ain't in the mailbox. I hope they invested well because they're not getting any new checks. The new checks are going to stop coming because their ineffectiveness is become detrimental to the United States status right now. It's making the United States status feel shaky. And it should be shaky because it ain't nothing but a fraudulent company, a fraudulent thieving company. So it should be over. But until enough indigenous people stand up as collective nations, how are we going to remove this fraudulent, ineffective, trifling, thieving company? How are we going to get back our gold and our platinum and our silver and coal and everything, all the other resources they took? How are we going to protect our people from all these inoculations and fake pandemics and all these drugs being pumped into our neighborhood? How are we going to self-protect from all that as African Americans? And without being nations as a collective, we can't end this cycle.
Well, that's simple.
So when you ask me what can be done, the most powerful thing that can be done is for you to get yourself together, find out who you are with your family, do your genealogy, find out what nation you really belong to, real actual name of the county of the people that your bloodline leads to, and repatriate it as a nation. And then collectively, we can take our Turtle Island back. That's what can be done. And that's what they don't want us to know. They want us to keep talking in circles and saying, well, we're slaves or we're prisoners of war. You ain't prisoner of nothing but your own, sorry repetition and not and forgetting everything, and not actually looking at the patterns, and not actually taking these things into account, and then not opposing things but accepting things. That's what we're guilty of. We're not in slavery. We are free. We're as free as we know ourselves to be, and we're free as we will work to maintain and to establish ourselves as. You have all the power. You have all the power. You just need to know it.
And stop giving it away.
You need to stop giving it away, and you need to claim it for yourselves and for those that come behind you. Claim that real power. Stop calling yourselves what you're not. Stop being silent when you should not be silent. Speak up against things that you're opposed to. Don't let them make your kids into alphabet people. Don't let them murder your babies and think it's okay. Don't let them inoculate you and make you think you gotta do it. You can't travel. You won't be free. Really? They can do all that to you? Boo! I don't believe you. Try it. What you gonna do? I got an affidavit that says I'm free and you can't inoculate me. You're not gonna do that. Or to my kids. If you believe they have power, you give them power. You give it to them. You manifest what they want you to because you believe them more than you believe in yourself. It's time for you guys to understand that these overseers that are ineffective, what's DL Hughley's? Oh, I'm so funny and I'm a dumb person, but I'm small, but I'm just playing all these games, mental games, politics. These radio stations that we have are toxic. Turn them off. Do not listen to urban radio. It is pollution. It's garbage. They tell you everything you're supposed to be told to kill yourself. Take this new vaccination. Take this new drug for eczema. Take a shot to keep you from getting HIV. Baby, and everybody in the commercials of color, they're either Hispanic or Indian. What the world? Why do you think that is? You think they want to save the dead us? You think they want to save gay us? Y'all stupid. Stop falling for the same stuff. Stop falling for the same. Not only that, urban radio tells you to get inoculated. It tells you to vote for assholes. It tells you to vote for your children being aborted. It tells you to vote. No. Urban radio is for your demise. It is designed to kill you. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, socially. It is death in your eardrums. They got commercials to give you a shot that you got to take every few months to prevent you from getting HIV. Really? Really? So now people be careless and not use condoms because they said they got the shot, right? What's in that shot? Is it HIV? Is it AZT? See, you guys don't trust these people. They're trying to kill you. Their number one job is to eliminate the Indian because you are still on the land that is yours. The number one job is to eliminate the Indian. And y'all keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We got to understand these overseers and the tricks they use. They on the radio trying to make you feel like they doing you good and they with you, but they're just instruments of your destruction. What's the other one that I can't stand? So many of them.
I mean, the ones they pump out and run in front of you. Those are the overseers.
All these people, these comedians that act like they cool and they understand. No, they ain't funny. And they may be funny. They may be a little bit funny. I'm gonna give them that. But they still about your destruction. They still trying to daggone do their job, and they still ain't crossing the line. You saw Spike Lee taking that thing on the steps, getting daggone inoculated like a humiliated little squirrel, like a rat, like a little tiny little mouse. For a job, what? For a check? Negro.
Imagine the look on his face when he shows it again.
Shows what again?
His face again. His face again.
You know, man, he's he has shriveled as a person, as a daggone, as everything. He has shriveled. And guess what? The sad thing is all these overseers are shrinking and shriveling. Their daggone credibility is at an all-time low in the face of the daggone American Indian.
Yeah.
We don't trust you. We don't believe you. We don't like you anymore. Your celebrity don't mean shit. Your daggone politics don't mean shit. Your daggone education, you're being look at Skip Gates. Skip Gates is an evil mofo. We know he's evil. Evil, lying mofo. We know who you are. What about that other one? With the messed up hair. It's supposed to be a philosophy for what's that other professor? Anyway, all these damn social political overseers, these whether they be professors, writers, directors, whatever the heck they are, athletes, sports commentators, news commentators, Oprah Winfrey, all these people that try to mislead us and deceive us, you are over. You are done. Finished. You get no more power because we give you your power. We give it to you. And the other thing that we have a responsibility to do is not speak to the choir. It's so comfortable talking to people that already understand and already think how you think. It's so easy. Like I enjoy talking to y'all. However, the more difficult conversation is with my family that don't understand, who are still under the guise of their educational system, or just strangers, people I work with or people that I ride in an Uber with or whatever. Your job is also to speak to people that you don't normally speak to about your being an Indian and what that means in this planet. To your coworkers, to strangers, to passerbys, because the world in general, to people on your Facebook, on your social media that aren't you, because that's also important. The world needs to be informed of the correction of these historical lies. Having these more challenging conversations is something that we all can and must do to deal with these ineffective overseers, to counteract them. Because they're not just on the media and in the sports, they're in our communities. We have them all over. They are the people that are on the board of education. They're the people that work around and do these African-American tributes and daggone sites and different celebrations in our towns and our cities. We need to be a force to say, you know what? Why are we calling people that were not African-American? They didn't call themselves that. They were colored. They were Negro. Don't change their name to something they did not call themselves by. Stop that crap. Stop giving a new label to a people that have been relabeled enough. That's what we need to be also speaking up on. This site should not be called an African-American site. These people were not African-Americans. Try and do it again. Try and call them African Americans. See if I don't make a stink every day you're around. Might need to go to court about it. When you become a part of your homeland, that's your job, is to correct the lies, specifically where you live, where your people are. because you know the truth about that. But it's also important that the Uber driver who's just recently immigrated and thinks that they know about what an African American is and that you are one of them, that they understand that, okay, guess what? I'm not an African American. I'm an American Indian. And what you've been told about African Americans isn't correct at all. Now, we've always, the majority of us, I can't speak from everyone, but I know I've always been here. And that's true from the majority of us. We had a very, very highly developed society here. We developed the law system of this country. We developed the court system of this country. We developed bridges that went from island to island and from peninsula to daggone mainland. We had all kinds of things in this country before any Europeans stepped on our soil. They learned from what we built. So anyway, that's what I got. Anything else?
Well, thank you for letting me have some. Listen, guys, the overseers, don't waste your time. You got work to do. Focus on what you have to do. Don't let these distractions get in your way and slow you down under any circumstance, because that's all they do. All of them is to get your attention off something so you won't pay attention to what's going on the planet. There's earthquakes going off everywhere. There's earthquakes, volcanoes going off everywhere. These are the kind of things we got to know about. They say the Mississippi River's losing water. This last hurricane made a couple of places lose water. We have to pay attention to these things because on that money, you were the caretakers of the earth. Are you still caretaking the earth today? We'll see you later on in the week. You guys have a good time. Talk to you soon. Peace.